Yes, yes.
So welcome to you again, Dr. Prachi. The most interesting I understood for Dr. Prachi is that she's combining pendulum and knowing about
Yes.
chakras along with homeopathy. So we are looking forward to your view,
Presently.
which is kind of different and newer for us.
Yes. So, hello everyone. Happy Friendship Day. And this is a privilege for me, speaking from interiors of India to people in Bulgaria. This is too much for me. This is, really thanks to technological advantages, we can do these things. And I'm so happy. Okay, a little bit about me. Since 1996, I'm taking homeopathy for my health. And so, upon insistence of Dr. Prasad Rasal sir from Sangamner, he said, so my nickname is Sai. So he said, Sai, then why don't you learn homeopathy, which has helped you? Because I used to have recurrent bronchitis. So, I got the result, and yes, I said, why not? And I joined DS Homeopathic Medical College, Pune. So, one of the oldest homeopathic colleges, one of the oldest in Maharashtra. And since 2001, I'm studying homeopathy. Since 2008, I am practicing homeopathy. And yes, as I told you, I can quote four influences upon my critical thinking. Is like firstly, Dr. Prasad Desai sir. Secondly, Dr. Rajan Shankaran sir, because I'm attending his seminar since 2001. And thirdly, Dr. Meenal Sohani ma'am. She was my Materia Medica professor, and she taught me about chakras and all that. And fourthly, recently, since 2015, I would say yes, Dr. Gaurang, because since he started posting his videos, and I really, trust me, I did not know anything about Facebook. For Facebook, I created a separate email account, drprachi.ambekar001 @gmail.com. And I just wrote the word repertory because I loved it. I love repertory. And there the page opened up in Facebook, that is Repertory Mania, and that's how we connected. And I used to write to him, and he used to answer and all that. So it was very much amazing. Like I through him, I could again get reconnected to the mainstream homeopathy, so to speak, because about ladies, that happens that after marriage, you get riled up in all those things like kids, growing kids, and your responsibilities and everything. And wow, to be again connected to mainstream was through Facebook and all those things. And it has really helped me. And so let's begin. Please bear with me. Now I will share my screen.
मेरा मोबाइल में दिख रहा
So I hope you can see it and
Yes.
hear me.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you. Acha, so dedications. I dedicate this presentation to Dr. Prasad Desai sir and Dr. Meenal Sohani ma'am. I have put their pics also, and this is Meenal ma'am. And let us begin. So, we asked to do the thyroid gland related tests in patients who show symptoms of either hypothyroidism like weight gain, irregular menses, etc., or hyperthyroidism like weight loss, trembling, etc. But these are just the symptoms. And when patients come to us, we really, yes, as ma'am before me just said, that yes, we get to understand the patient, and that too without judgment. So, who is at risk of developing thyroid related disorders? Babies born to mothers having glandular issues, pregnant women, women of about 35, people having autoimmune diseases, or people having autoimmune disease family history are also prone to have thyroid gland disorders. So, let's jump in first. So, case number one, hyperthyroidism with allergic rhinitis. So, Mr. R.A., 32, came to me for allergic rhinitis on 13th of December 2011. Why did I choose such an old case? Because these people are keeping up very well. Because when I talked to MD pathologist ma'am about thyroid gland disorders being treated with homeopathy, she said, "Oh, I don't believe you. Without replacement therapy, there is nothing. How can you treat and will they maintain their health like in the long run?" So, really, because it works, I have seen it works. So, and as he is MR, medical representative by profession for modern medicine, his physician friend asked him to do the tests. So, if you can see, TSH was 0.03 on 3rd of December 2011. So, ODP of the problem was in January 2011, he had undergone tonsillectomy, and after that, he started having recurrent coryza. See, surgical. So, in simple homeopathic language, it was a surgical suppression. Further, being MR, he had access to top modern medicine physicians easily. Nothing turned to be useful. So he used to have some medicine. It used to like suppress his coryza, but again it used to come up. And later he was diagnosed with hyperthyroidism also. See, he was say 5 feet 11 inch tall person, but used to weigh only 52 kg. Imagine, very thin person he had become. So modern medicine treatment given. His MD physician friend put him on Numocazole, Cetra, Ciplar, all those things for his hyperthyroidism. And but he said, let me have homeopathic treatment for my allergic coryza, allergic cold. But we never say that I don't treat hyperthyroidism. What we say is we treat a person who has disease. So presentation of symptoms. He used to have severe coryza with headache. Headache used to be in temples and vertex as like being hit by a hammer from sunrise to sunset. Coryza used to be worse after banana, tamarind, guava, etc. And recently he had developed trembling and underwent the test, and TSH turned out to be 0.03. Physical generals recently started liking salty snacks. We say namkeen kuch. Used to like sweets also. Sour food made his coryza worse. Rest all other physical generals were normal. So, of course, I combine every information that I get from the patient. And yes, any classical homeopath, true to his salt, really does this. That we get all the information we can about his body as well as mind. Past history and family history. So past history, typhoid in childhood, recurrent tonsillitis and had tonsils removed. Family history, his mother and 2 maternal uncles had TB. Life space investigation, came from a middle class Indian family, worked as medical representative, had fallen for a girl 12 years ago when he was studying in college. But sadly, the love story couldn't reach desirable end. We are talking about India. In India, love marriage is not at all a welcome scenario, especially if you fall for someone out of your community. That is, at least in interiors of India, people have killed their own children for falling for someone outside the community and all that. So his parents just didn't allow the match, and he was forced into a marriage. But he said still her thoughts come in his mind. Of late, he started having her dreams also. Samoa lost his elder son. Couldn't specify the reason due to overwhelming emotions, and said he wanted to make more money for the sake of his family's future. So, patient as a person, he used to like cleanliness a lot, reading, and he quoted Macbeth as his favorite piece of literature. He said, look at Macbeth. He lost everything, but he came up in life. Just a minute. There is some There is some technical issue, but please bear with me. Huh? So he quoted Macbeth as his favorite piece of literature. Responsible person, very refined. He said, I like to fight against odds. So, analysis. How did I do the analysis? A responsible person having two major griefs in the past, like, not getting to be with the love of his life, and secondly, losing his son. Surgical separation had occurred. Then, recent craving for salt he had developed. Headache from sunrise to sunset he used to have. And he used to have watery coryza. I just felt his nose is weeping as if because his eyes are not. The agonies of long lost love made him like worse. These things are happening on the background of family history of tuberculosis. So, of course, everyone knows, like every homeopathy student knows Natramur. On 13th of December 2011, he was given Natramur 200, one dose with lots of SN. I urged him to stop Neomercazole. But his modern medicine physician said, no, तुम्ही असं एकदम बंद काय करता, निदान निम्म तरी करा. So half it he was taking. And on 20th of December, he said that after powder, headache increased and his nose started leaking like a tap. In Marathi, he said, अगदी नळासारखं गळतंय हो माझं ना. But still I gave him lots of SL. Follow-ups. On 17th of Jan 2012, his weight had gone from 56 to 60 kg. On 19th of Jan, headache returned. So NM again in 200 potency only was repeated. So you can see from 0.03 he had gone up to 0.18. More follow-ups. On 3rd of February and 1st of March 2012, he was given Natramur 200 for a slight recurrence of headache. On 13th of March, he was given Natramur 1M as trembling had increased. ते वाढलं मग मी म्हणले जाऊ दे परत म्हणजे higher potency द्या. So look at the date 21st of March and look at TSH that is 1.03. No more reports were done after that because clinically also means report wise, TSH wise he was better. And after every bout of coryza and headache, the remedy was repeated. Natramur used to be repeated. Trembling and headache went away first, but coryza took time to go away. Follow-ups. Up till July 2012, he was given Natramur 1M every month. In August, he was given Natramur 10M single dose for recurrence of headache. And in September 2020, he received one dose of NM 50M, keeping well. My learning. Emotions are intricately associated with thyroid gland disorders. Of course, that wish to express his grief or his all-consuming grief really affected him. So after 2012, so in 2015, I started learning about chakras, and Dr. Meenal Sohni ma'am was my inspiration to learn chakras. So this case particularly, let's see, case number 2, hypothyroidism, like he had developed some symptoms of it. Later in 2015, I studied to use pendulum for chakra diagnosis. On 15th of May 2016, Mr. UT saw me for the pain in the heels. ODP of the trouble. Mr. UT, a farmer, started having bruised, deep pain in heels, which was worse in cloudy weather and used to get better by hanging the limbs. I thought that it was a run-of-the-mill case of plantar fasciitis. But wait, my pendulum showed that he had troubles in his throat chakra. So I asked him, please, tumi he pan kara T3, T4, TSH. So you can see that TSH had been raised 6.81. My suspicions were correct. He even had developed lethargy, hair fall, etc. I asked, then he talked about his own life, that he was the father of 3 daughters. And being so, his brothers were pestering him to let them have his land. You know how it is in India. India is such essentially a patriarchal country. You have to produce a son to really keep your inheritance. Otherwise, then your brothers will say that, oh no, you don't have a son, then your daughters will take away our land, so better give it to us. And he couldn't express. He had made sure that all three of his daughters had top line education. Trust me, his eldest daughter is ME. The younger daughter is pursuing some technological education in Germany, and the youngest one is pursuing medicine. So he had made sure he was not at all patriarchal, but his brothers were, and they were just pestering him. And they used to have fights in their farmland that, give it to us, give us your land. You will have all the three daughters, and they will take away our land. So keep it in the family, and all that. And then he started having lethargy and hair fall and a bit of trembling and pain in the heels and all that. So I think you got the gist of the problem. That okay, then my analysis. I used Phatak repertory because when it is my favorite repertory because my upbringing has been on the Boger's line of thought. So I use Boger's analysis along with Phatak repertory. So these are the rubrics: hanging limbs ameliorates, cloudy weather aggravates, pain bruised deep. In Marathi, he said खोलवर दुखल्यासारखं वाटतंय, heals painful. So Manganum aceticum. Otherwise I knew Manganum aceticum as only for itching in a diabetic people, non-infectious itching in a diabetic people. Give a Manganum aceticum. I had learned it in my college days. But through repertorization it came, and then I studied it, and it was given in 30 potency repeatedly, and asked him to listen to throat chakra music, chant hum. The bija mantra of throat chakra is hum, and the
chakra?
color of the throat chakra is sky blue. Throat chakra.
This one. Okay. Can you repeat the mantra?
It is, the chant is hum.
Okay.
Sometimes
when I'm presenting, I have problem with her throat chakra.
Yes. Soon the pain was abated. He could stand up to his brothers. Next year, when he came for his wife, I asked him to please do the thyroid related tests again so I could have proof. So, again, it was done, and 4.88, it came back to the normal limits. So my learning that throat chakra is related with thyroid gland disorders, related music and chanting really helps. So, if you can see, these are the 7 chakras, and so these are related with different organ systems of the body. Lowest one, red colored, is Mooladhara chakra. Then above that is Swadhisthana chakra. Then Manipur chakra, Anahata chakra. In throat, of course, there is throat chakra, or Vishuddha chakra we call it. Then there is Ajna chakra, and the topmost is Sahasrara chakra. So my understanding is that Swadhisthana chakra and throat chakra are 2 chakras intricately associated with thyroid gland. Along with homeopathy, the healing music can be used. If you go on YouTube and just simply if you put the words that throat chakra music, just simple, either Vishuddha chakra music or throat chakra music. So there are pieces of music available royalty free, like free of cost on YouTube. You can listen to them and you can chant hum along with them. Amazing. This is the most amazing thing. And I can really tell this to patients along with the medicine. You can please listen to that music, and it really heals. One more, I really just want to share one more. Just the results. Actually, it is going on, but results are like awesome. Mrs. LT, can you just appreciate the thing? Like, can you imagine last year the lockdown started and she had TSH of 51.75, and off and on, whenever possible, she used to come. And in between, she suffered from COVID pneumonia also. In October 2020, she suffered from COVID pneumonia, but still, her TSH had come down to 6.95, And in May, recently we did TSH and it was 5.71 only, and only with homeopathy. You know, of course, yes, I used to tell her. She used to have troubles in the family, and so all these things. I'm so happy that I can help such people along with homeopathy. For her, one of the major remedies that was Nux vomica, and intercurrent was sepia. Of course, we know that intricately Nux vomica and sepia are very closely connected. But rather than that, is like, yes, I used my understanding of chakras, and yes, it is not that just you chant hum and your thyroid will go away. It never happens. You need medicine. But it is a different modality that you can add to your current practice. That is something I have seen. And I'm so happy that I could present these cases.
Thank you very much.
Matrimony. Thank you.
It was very interesting.
Congratulations for your results. Can I?
Okay. Hey,
congratulations for your results. I really appreciate the way you're using chakras to understand the pathology. I have also heard somewhere that throat chakra is also related to unexpressed emotions.
Yes. Agdi. Itha satvun rahala na ki mo hota. Whenever the emotions just are stuck here, you cannot express, and then something happens. Then,
that's true.
But how, what you can say, Prachi, like conclusion about the holism and the energy, how the Indian spiritual science explain the holism and treating a person as a whole? Even though we know that we have to chant about the throat chakra, we know that those chakras are connected. Would you say something in short about this?
Okay, so I will tell you that Maharshi Patanjali, many thousands of years ago, more than 6,000 years ago, Maharshi Patanjali said that there are 5 layers of the body. And interestingly, 250 years ago, Dr. Hahnemann said that there are 3 layers of the body. This is just mind-blowing, you know, that Maharshi Patanjali said, whatever he said, Annamaya Kosh, it means the layer of the body which is dependent on food, or for survival we need food. On the same lines, Dr. Hahnemann used the word corpor, that outermost layer of the body. And then Maharshi Patanjali talked about Pranamaya Kosh, that is the layer of vital energy. Dr. Hahnemann called the word Vazen, or famously we call it vital force. That is Pranamaya Kosh. Then Maharshi Patanjali had used the word that is Manomaya Kosh, and for that Dr. Hahnemann has used the word, I think, Gemut, 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 that is emotional mind. Can you believe it? It's like whatever our people had said 5,000 years ago, Dr. Hahnemann said the same things just so many years after, and he used the language German. Just that the innermost 2 layers, that is those 2 layers, that is Vijnanamaya Kosh and Anandamaya Kosh. We don't see there.
Something happened with the connection. I will switch off my camera for a while.
Presence in we say na Atma, that is soul. Okay, and yes, and Seele, Seele, that is soul. This is so amazing that it gives me goosebumps to know that whatever our people had said 5,000 years ago, Dr. Hahnemann said these many years after those people, and used it in the practice.
But
so,
I couldn't understand. You told me that this Indian spiritual teacher has told that there are 5 layers, and Hahnemann told that there are 3.
3 layers, yes.
This is different.
The innermost, no, but the innermost 2, these are more related to spiritual growth. So it has not been talked much about. But other 3 layers, the outermost 3 layers, yes, we get to study them in homeopathy. And Dr. Kent added one more layer, or that which the word he used, which is that substance, simple substance. Yes. Simple substance. The fourth.
Is this the ether? Because there exists some element in the mineral table that is removed and deliberately deleted from the mineral chart, and this is the ether. Yes. This is the ether. This is the life force. This is the primordial substance, gas, from which all other substances has been created. Is this the ether?
Yes, maybe, because I don't know much about these things, but while I teach organon and while I teach the history of medicine, because yes, I get to teach history of medicine as a part of second year BHMS syllabus, and I was so thrilled to teach my students that see how great men think alike, like Maharshi Valmiki had said in his great literature, that is Mana eva manushya, means mind is the man. And Dr. Kent in his lecture number 34 has said it in just one line, mind is the man. See, whatever has been said in Yoga Vasishtha is clearly Dr. Kent thought the same thoughts in his writing, in his philosophical thinking. That is why we have to study Kent. It is so amazing that these are the similarities in Western and Indian thought about holism. And we call that Advaita Siddhanta. That is Maharshi Valmiki in his book Yoga Vasishtha. In Yoga Vasishtha,
can you type please the name of this Indian spiritual guides?
Okay, so Yoga Vasishtha book by Maharshi Valmiki. In this, he said,
there is nothing in the chat.
No, I will post it. Mana eva manushya, mind is the man.
Okay, send us please wherever the name.
Hey, Baga. Okay, and I think now you can say. Later, Dr. Kent in his chapter number in chapter 34 said, mind is the man.
You should tell more about this, but okay.
Okay, we are running out of time, but I'm so happy that I could share all these things with you.
Thank you very much, dear. And now we are waiting for Mita because the time is going quickly.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, dear. I hope in next events you can tell us more about this. I was very interested, really.
Thank you. Yes.
So now we are waiting for Dr. Mita Nilani.
Yeah, I'm here.
Indian homeopath with more than 20 years practice. She's practicing sensation method and evolutionary development model of Dr. Gandhi and some other methods, I suppose.
Right. So this is Dr. Mita Nilani. As Genevieve said, I'm practicing since 30 years. So I'm integrated. Yeah. I'm integrated many.
I missed only 10 years only.
So you made me.
How old are you?
Huh?
How old?
I'm 25. I'm 30 years old. I'm 30 years old.
Okay.
So today my topic is disease is a teacher. You all can see my screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait,
so today's
topic. Sorry. Wait.